Bills Mafia, we are in the middle of one of the most intense and competitive off seasons in recent memory. And you can feel it, right? This team isn't coasting. They're grinding, tweaking, and perfecting every single detail to make 2025 the year we finally lift that Lombardi trophy. Now, before we dive into some major cornerback news and a possible surprise move that could shake up the secondary, do me a quick favor. Smash that like button if you're all in on this team's Super Bowl journey, and subscribe to stay locked in with all things Buffalo Bills. Let's build this channel together, Bills fans, because no one does it like us. All right, let's get into it. The Bills have been relentless in addressing the cornerback position this offseason. We all saw the departures. Rasul Douglas not re-signed, Kaya Elam traded to Dallas, and questions still linger around Christian Benford's health after that brutal playoff loss to the Chiefs. But it wasn't all subtraction. Tre'Davious White is back, and the front office spent 3 draft picks in April bolstering the secondary. Most notably, first-rounder Maxwell Hairston, who brings elite speed and energy to this unit. And now, just when you thought the CB room was set, a new possibility emerges. Earlier this week, the Green Bay Packers officially released cornerback Jaire Alexander after 8 seasons with the team. Yeah, you heard that right. Jaire Alexander, a former first-round pick, a 2-time Pro Bowler, and one of the most respected cover corners in the game, available right now. And guess who's already being connected to him? Your Buffalo Bills! According to Cameron Sheath of Pro Football Network, the Bills are a legitimate landing spot for Alexander. He writes, Buffalo has done well locking down core players with extensions. But for a team with Super Bowl expectations, a healthy Jaire Alexander could push this secondary into elite territory. Now, let's keep it 100 here. Jaire's recent injury history isn't perfect. He's played just 14 out of 34 games over the past 2 seasons. That's a big red flag. But when this man is healthy, he's a true difference maker. Sticky in man coverage, explosive in zone schemes, and physical at the point of attack. At just 28 years old, if he proves he's back to full strength, he could be exactly what this defense needs to go from solid to elite. Let's look at where the Bills currently stand. Christian Benford, breakout player but coming off injury. Tre'Davious White, a fan favorite, returning veteran presence. Taron Johnson, locked into that nickel role. Maxwell Hairston, explosive rookie with blazing 4.29 speed. Daquan Hardy and Elijah Jones, depth pieces from the draft. It's a promising group, no doubt. But the wild card now? Hairston's health. Yup, we've got to talk about this. During Wednesday's mandatory minicamp, Maxwell Hairston left practice early with what's being reported as a left leg injury. Now, the good news? He didn't go straight to the locker room. He stayed on the sideline watching the rest of practice. That's usually a sign it's not something devastating, but the fact that we're even having this conversation brings up one key point: depth matters. And in the AFC, where you're facing Lamar, Mahomes, Burrow, and now even Aaron Rodgers in your own division, you cannot afford to be shorthanded in your secondary. Adding Jaire Alexander, even in a reduced or rotational role, gives the Bills something they haven't had since 2021, elite CB flexibility. Imagine this scenario. Tre'Davious White mentors Hairston. Benford holds down a CB1 role. Alexander rotates in as a matchup weapon or insurance policy. Taron Johnson holds down the slot. That's depth. That's veteran savvy. That's championship level. Secondary construction. But here's the question. Is it worth the risk? If the price is right, and that's a big if, this could be a low-risk, high-reward signing. There are cap considerations, obviously, especially after the Bills spent big this offseason on guys like Joey Bosa, Shaq Thompson, and Larry Ogunjobi. The front office might wait to see how Hairston recovers or how the younger corners perform during training camp, but with this team all in on 2025, there may not be time to gamble on inexperience. Let me say this, I love what the Bills have done so far this offseason. They're playing aggressive football before the season even starts. But we know how razor-thin the margins are in the playoffs. One injury, one missed assignment. That's the difference between heartbreak in Kansas City and confetti in Buffalo. So if Jaire Alexander is healthy, if he's motivated, and if he's willing to prove himself in a new jersey, I say give him a shot. All right, folks, it's time we talk about something that hasn't been discussed nearly enough in national media. The Buffalo Bills wide receiver group is quietly building into a versatile, high upside unit. And don't just take it from me, take it from Keon Coleman himself. After a couple of sharp minicamp practices this week, the second-year wideout met with the media and lit up when talking about his new teammates. He was crystal clear. You see what I see? Got two great route runners in Elijah and Palm. He's talking about Elijah Moore and Joshua Palmer, two of the most underrated pickups of the Bills offseason. And Coleman's excitement says a lot. Now look, Keon's only entering his second year in the league, but his football IQ is off the charts. He knows what makes a good receiver group, and he's watching these vets come in and work like they've got something to prove. Let's break down who he's talking about. First up, Joshua Palmer. This guy is more than a depth signing. Livy, former Los Angeles Charger, put up 584 yards last season, despite missing time and dealing with quarterback instability. In 4 seasons, he's racked up 182 catches, 2,287 yards, and 10 touchdowns. But here's the thing, Palmer's not flashy. He's a technician. He's that guy who moves the chains, beats press coverage, and brings reliability to a room that just lost Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. If you're Josh Allen, you want someone you can trust in high leverage moments. Palmer looks like he's earning that trust already. Now let's talk about the most intriguing wild card of this receiver room, Elijah Moore. A former second-round pick in 2021, Moore came into the league with high expectations, but after being shuffled between the Jets and the Browns and never really having consistent quarterback play, his production plateaued. Still the talent? It's there. Moore's route running has always been top tier. His footwork, burst, and separation ability make him a mismatch out of the slot, or even on the outside in the right matchup. Keon Coleman is seeing that up close in camp, and it's clearly turning heads. And it doesn't stop there. Keon also name-dropped Laviska Shenault, calling out how well he's been playing. Shenault is built different. Literally, at 6'1", 220 pounds, he brings a physicality that few DBs want to deal with. If he can stay healthy, he could be the kind of hybrid weapon this offense hasn't had since Isaiah McKenzie's prime moments. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The Bills do not have a traditional number 1 wide receiver heading into 2024. That's just facts. There's no Diggs, no Hopkins, no Justin Jefferson. But honestly, that might be a strength, not a weakness. What we're seeing develop is a by-committee attack, and it makes life very difficult for opposing defenses. Think about it. Keon Coleman, big body, red zone specialist Joshua Palmer, route running machine with steady hands, Elijah Moore, explosive slot option who can stretch the field horizontally, Laviska Shenault, YAC monster and gadget, option Khalil Shakir, still developing but showed flashes last year. This is a room built around versatility, not star power. And Josh Allen? He's more than capable of spreading the wealth. Look, we all know Buffalo came up agonizingly short last year. Again, but this offseason has been all about tweaking the roster to maximize Allen's potential while giving Joe Brady a dynamic set of tools to play with, and it's working. Reports out of camp say the timing is improving. Routes are sharper. The energy? High. And the trust? Growing. That's exactly what you want to hear in June if you're serious about making a run in January. But let's keep our eyes open. We've seen promising WR rooms before that didn't pan out. It's all about how these guys gel in real game speed. Preseason will give us a glimpse, but the true test comes in those first few matchups of the regular season when defenses are throwing exotic looks and corners are pressing you at the line. That's where we'll find out if Keon Coleman's praise is real or just training camp optimism. But what do you think, Bills Mafia? Should the Bills go after Jair Alexander? Do you trust the current cornerback group if Haskins misses time? And how much would you be willing to pay for a proven veteran like Alexander? Drop your answers in the comments. Let's talk about it. I'll be reading every take, and you know I'll be jumping in there too. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. This is going to be a wild ride to week 1, and we're covering every second of it. Until next time, stay loud, stay loyal, and as always, go Bills!